Hi guys, today I'm going to show you how to make aloo de parante. So that's kind of like roti, but it's got a stuffing of potato in it. So first I've cooked my potatoes in the microwave because boiling just takes too long. So I've got the potatoes in a bowl and now I'm just chopping up some onion. I'm going to chop a chili as well and some ginger. Make sure the ginger is very fine. If you don't mind the big bits of ginger in it, then that's fine, but I personally like it really finely chopped. So when we've chopped all of that, we put it into the bowl and basically you add some seasonings to it and then we'll cook it. So now that we've got the ginger and chili chopped, I'm just going to put that in and I'm also going to now chop some coriander. Basically for the coriander, all you gotta do is just wash it and then just chop it very finely. So I don't worry too much about getting the leaves off the sticks because I just chop everything. It's all completely fine. You don't want to waste any of it. So once everything is into the bowl, we're gonna add our seasonings. So I use around 2 teaspoons of salt, just under. But basically you can just eye measure. I always eye measure. Of course, it's better to put less, so you can add more later after you try it. And then chili powder. Chili powder is optional. I like chili powder in everything. So I just added just around half to 3/4 of a teaspoon. And then you want to add your garam masala. So garam masala I put around 2 teaspoons, but once again you're basically adding a smaller amount, and once we've mixed everything we're going to try a little bit of it, and whatever is less you can add more of, so it's completely fine. And if you do have a masher, then feel free to whip that out. But I do not have one that is actually functionable, so here I am using a fork until it's reasonably finely done, and then we will use our hand. So once it's fairly mixed together with the fork, I like to use my hand. It's up to you if you want to get your hands dirty. You can just use a masher, but I find that if I use my hands, I can feel the lumps of potato more, and it helps break it down and make it more creamy. So I'm just gonna use my hands until everything is combined, and then it's done. So I've used my hands for a few minutes mixing everything, and now I'm just trying it out. I think the taste is alright, so I'm gonna carry on with the cooking now. When the potato is done, we're gonna set up another workstation, kind of similar with the roti. So if you haven't watched that, I'll put up a link up here for that video. So our dough is basically the same dough that I used for my chapatis. This is just leftover dough, so this procedure is pretty much the same. You roll it out and make a small kind of chapati with it. And when that is done, you basically put around 1 or 2 spoons of the potato filling, and then we're gonna wrap it all up, roll it out again, and then cook it. So right now I'm just using the dough and making it flat, getting it ready to roll it out with a rolling pin. So what I'm doing here is I'm rolling it out so that it's thin, but not too thin because we don't want another chapati. We're rolling it out kind of thick, but you want to make sure that all the areas are even. And then you just take it into your hand, and then you want to spoon a few spoonfuls of the potato mixture. So be careful with this. I have gotten greedy before and put in too much, and then it's sort of just come right out. So you want to put some, but not too much. Then you kind of pinch one end and bring all the other ends together, and then just kind of I don't know what you would call that, so kind of join them together and flatten it. And then we're gonna roll that out with a rolling pin, but be careful. it can come out very easily, so you don't want that. So as I mentioned, it a little bit is about to come out, but if that happens, it's completely fine. It'll just cook because the flour gets onto that, so don't worry about it too much if it pops out like that. So at this stage, you want to make sure that it's even. So what we're doing is we're spreading the potato filling all over, and it's really important that you make sure it's even. So once that's done and your pan is hot enough, you basically put the paratha onto the pan. And while that is doing its thing, we're gonna get ready with the second one. So always cook one and prepare the other one at the same time, because it's very effective time management, and you don't want to just stand over the hob waiting for each one to cook individually and then rolling out the next one, because the pan does get too hot if you just leave it there. So now we're doing the second one. It's exactly the same way, and you just make as many as you want. They are very filling, so keep that in mind. And you can eat them with some plain yogurt. It's absolutely delicious. So if you haven't watched the chapati video, I recommend you go check that out. In that, I talk about when it's the right time to flip. So as you saw, the color changed. It got like a little darker, and that's when we flip. So it's always important to keep that in mind, because then you'll end up burning one side or something. So with a parantha is basically like fried roti. So when we first flip, we put some butter on one side, and then we let the current side cook, and then when it's sort of cooked after a few minutes, we flip it and then let the butter side cook and butter this current side, if that wasn't too confusing. And of course, if you don't want to use butter, you can use oil or even fry light. It's just not the same kind of texture, but honestly, it's entirely up to you if you are trying to watch your health or anything. I just used butter because I haven't made these in so long, or even eaten these in so long, so, you know. So once it's been a few minutes, you want to flip that, and if it's not like brown like this, you can flip it back so it becomes brown. But if it is, then you can grease it, butter or oil, and then we kind of let the butter side cook. When that's done, we'll flip this again so that this side that we're buttering now can cook. You just have to remember to cook each side a few times until it browns. So now this is done. I'm going to flip it once more just to check the underside is cooked. And if it is, I take it out and move on to the next one. So that is it, guys. You basically just repeat and repeat and repeat until you're satisfied with however many it is that you want to make. And there's no need for me to show you me making the rest of them because it's literally the same thing. So I will just leave it there, and thank you for watching. And I hope you carry on watching my videos, and I hope you're enjoying them. Please let me know if there's any questions you have in the comments. I will gladly answer them. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe. I will upload daily videos of loads of different types of recipes, so make sure to keep following. And that is it for today. I will see you guys again tomorrow, and again the next day, and again the next day. Bye!